Why do indigo children have this indigo blue aura? Do they come from the same planet or solar system? Is it their first time on Earth? And how can I help an indigo child that is not understood by its parents? I'm assuming a psychologist is asking this question. Okay, first of all, let's explain a little bit about indigo children in case some people have not heard of them. Actually, you have heard the children because they make a lot of noise, but you might not know that we call them indigo. There's a group of souls that have started incarnating on Earth about 30 to maybe even 40 years ago, that have come with one thing in mind, with one purpose and one purpose only: to bring down the system. Not only the financial system or the system of government, every institution, everything we here on Earth call sacred, they are going to bring it down. And of course they were different because they were not listening to their parents, or it's not that they were not listening to their parents. You know what it was that made their parents take them to psychologists? They did not need their parents. That's what the problem was. They were showing independence from year one. And you see, most of us, when I say most, I mean 90%, have children because we have a need to be needed. And suddenly, if we have a child that doesn't need us, we think, well, why did I have you then? So instead of asking these questions to ourselves, why did I have you? Or why am I upset with the fact that you do not need me? Instead of asking this, I will take you to a psychologist. Many psychologists or family therapists, not all, but many, are also a little bit psychic or very psychic. And they noticed that all these children that did not need their parents, although we never label it like this, because our society will just go bananas if we label it like this. All these children had the same color aura, this deep blue, which many times we call indigo. So then we started calling them the indigo children. So this is where the term indigo children comes from. Surprisingly, they are not as many as we think they are. But many times you'll hear a person saying, "My child is an indigo child." Your child is not an indigo child. You are just trying to justify the fact that you have a child, because you know down deep inside you should not have had one. But you see, if you accept this, a child is not something you can return. It's not a book. So if you accept this, you will go crazy. So instead of going mad, we go to plan B. Let me find a good reason why my child is here on Earth. And because the word indigo sounds nice, a lot of people have said, I have an indigo child, but they really don't. There are not that many, or not as many as we think. Now, indigo children. Why they all have the same color or the color indigo, I really don't know. I did ask once only, and the entity that was channeling gave me a look like, what do you mean? As if I should have known. So I don't know what this color means out in the universe. Just like the picture we are seeing and the statement beneath it, below it, some of them are nasty little bastards with superpowers. The word some is simply trying to be nice. No, not some of them. All of them are nasty little bastards with superpowers. The reason they have superpowers is because they do not need you. Think about this for a minute. You too can have superpowers if you do not need other people's approval. These children do not need your approval, and they express who they are. This is why it seems like they have superpowers. And no, again, as the saying here says, no, they are not all sunshiny and happy and love and light. Not at all. This is not what they have come for. They have come here to bring down our institutions. Do they come from the same planet or solar system? I really don't think so. I could be wrong, but I haven't seen it. I've seen them when parents ask about them, and I do see an indigo child. I have seen that they come from different places. However, they do come from places of logic, places that are pure information. They would not really come from a reality that is all love and light, and a reality that does not have systems like we have here on Earth, because then they would not know how to bring one down. These are entities, these are souls that have survived, that have lived in worlds that have systems like ours. Is it their first time on Earth? No, impossible. Impossible. They know too much, the little bastards. No, it cannot be their first time on Earth. They're way too quick. Their IQ is very high. So, no way. Of course, somebody could come to Earth for the first time and their IQ would be very high because they are connected to their home. But there is no way these kids could have come to Earth for the first time because it's very difficult. Earth bodies are very heavy. And it takes a lot of concentration for the soul to stay fully in the body if it is their first lifetime on Earth. To stay grounded, in other words. Souls that come here for the first time choose quieter societies, isolated societies, where they can focus on just 2 or 3 things. They do not choose the overly organized, sophisticated societies we live in today, or most of us live in. Let's see what else about the indigo children. How are they? Oh, a lot of them are already in prison, and many more will go to prison. To be honest, I don't think we have any indigo children left. They are all adults now, or at least the majority of them are adults. The reason they are angry, yes, they are angry, I forgot to mention, they're very angry, because, you see, they've come here to do something. Of course, by going through the veil, they forgot exactly what it is they came to do, and this makes them anxious and angry, because they feel like they're being blocked somehow from doing what they have come to do. This is why they are angry. Many of them can get violent, not all, a small percentage, but they can get violent. But because, again, this is because they can't see exactly what they came here to do, and they feel frustrated. This is why they can get violent. They're very honest. They're really, really honest. They will tell you the truth raw, as it is. They will not sugarcoat it at all. This is another reason why we cannot handle them. The reason they're going to jail is because this is what prisons are for, to put in those who are going against the system. Prisons have nothing to do with rehabilitation. Absolutely nothing. Well, in some countries like the United States, prisons are private, so they make good money. So we have changed the laws in order to get more people in prison, and that way a lot of us make money. Let's see what else about them. I will go to the last phrase. And how can I help an indigo child that is not understood by its parents? You really can't help it. Oh, no, no, you can help the child, but you really cannot help the parents. Sorry, let me start again. How can I help an indigo child? You can tell it that it has come for something whose time is not here yet. I'm going to quote a phrase by Martin Luther King's ghostwriter. He said to Martin Luther King one day, "I am a man of my times, but the times don't know it yet." If you can somehow explain this phrase to the child, that would help, because it will understand you. It's not stupid. Indigo children are not stupid just because they don't listen or because they don't need you. For as far as the parents are concerned, again, they had the child because they wanted someone to need them. And when they see that the child does not need them, they don't know what to do. It's like, why did we have a child? This is really how they feel. They would never admit it, but you can see it in the aura. Their aura says, this was a waste of time. Because it's like, I had it for a reason, and the child is not satisfying those reasons. It is not fulfilling those reasons. So you really cannot help the parents. You can explain Indigo Children to them. There's a very good book, I think it's by Lee Carroll, but I'm not 100% sure, called The Indigo Children. It's an old book, but the information is always current. If you can get them that book, or get them to get it, don't get it for them, get them to make the effort to go and get the book. And maybe they will be helped by that. What else about Indigo Children? Can't think of anything else. But again, I will close it with, they are not all love and light, and there is a reason why they are angry. Let them be, and just sit back and enjoy the show. As soon as these indigo children, who are not children anymore, will bring down all the systems, they will leave. They will die young. Because after that, we have the crystal children. Many of them have already been born. The crystal children are going to teach us how to live with love. Now, for all you retarded romantics out there, not the Hollywood version of love, not a prince coming off his white horse and asking you to marry him. Not that kind of love. That's not love. That's just retardation at its apex. Love meaning accepting everything the way it is. That kind of love. Everything. Because if we accept everything the way it is, then we can go into our power and be just like Jesus. Jesus accepted everything the way it was. Of course, he did come without the veil, and this is why. So we have a good excuse. And these indigo children cannot live in a world of like, I accept everything the way it is, because it doesn't interest them. It bores them. These children are also called systems busters. They go to a place to bust the system. So then they will leave Earth and go to another planet. So a lot of them will die young. Actually, the majority of them, if not 100% of them, will die young. Simply because their job will be over. So what else? I think that's it. I will leave it at this.